And we now talk to the Philippine Red Cross. Their teams have been on the ground since the Taal volcano erupted more than a week ago. Now, to tell us more about the response and what to do in case of a hazardous volcano eruption, we now talk to Red Cross Disaster Management Services Director Leo Ebajo. Good morning, Sir Leo. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay, so you have been busy. You have been there, as we said, from day one.
Day one.
Could you share to our televiewers, what is it that you see? What's the condition currently happening ngayon sa mga evacuation centers?
Well, at first, day one, that is Sunday, 1 p.m. So when we heard information coming from our chapter, because we have an active Batangas chapter, all the volunteers at that time was already mobilized. And immediately we assisted in the evacuation, and also we provided the basic lifeline. So when they arrive in the evacuation center, the first thing that we establish is to have a welfare desk that is to gather information and to provide what is the immediate need.
So how does that work? Just going back, meron na kayo mga designated evacuation centers?
No, it is the government who provide.
Okay.
Yeah. So as part of the council, even in the local, as one of the member of the National Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council, is also we are coordinated, and there is a local plan also that the Philippine Red Cross is supporting as an auxiliary to the government.
So ngayon, like over a week has passed now. Ano yung conditions? What are the conditions that you see now sa mga evacuation centers? You mentioned there are like 400 evacuation centers
right. It's
currently.
around 400 plus. So there are evacuation centers that sometimes they close and they've been transferred. Like for example, in one of the municipalities, like in Mataas na Kahoy, and they're moved to another location. So sometimes it becomes difficult for us to monitor those people. But right now, we were able to assess all the most of the evacuation center, especially the big one, like in Batangas Sports Complex, wherein the population is quite great. And that is where we provide assistance based on the assessment of what is needed. Because as you heard, marami na rin nagbibigay.
Yes. So paano yan? Speaking of donations, is it best that for us that want to give to go directly to Red Cross, or can we also organize our own, activity, our group activity in terms of wanting to help?
It will be much better if you will go directly to the Red Cross, and we prefer that it could be cash, because we have what we call the standard packaging, meaning to say if we provide assistance, this is conforming to the common standard that we do also in other country. Like for example, if this food item, so we have the exact items that will be given to the person or to the family.
Kumaga walang nasasayang, di ba?
Yes,
Kumbaga, you already know what is needed and necessary. Now, let's go to the evacuation centers, yung mga location nila.
Yes,
Some of them, are still within maybe
the 14, that's why
right?
there is also a movement, if I'm not mistaken, yesterday, to further extend the location of those evacuees. And it was really a good plan by our local government. And on the part of the Red Cross is to support them and provide them with the basic needs. Like, for example, we are giving hot meals. In fact, right now, the total volume of we provided for the hot meals is already 8,723 individuals na provide. Plus, meron pa kaming water tankering. Yes. There is also, we provided emergency medical unit to support the...
I'm sure you guys will have to go through a lot of that, because it's also difficult in terms of trying to sustain it.
Yes.
Not knowing when the volcano will actually erupt. Now, when it actually does erupt, a lot of people are asking, what should we do? What would be, the first thing, especially sa mga evacuation center or yung mga nearby areas?
It's really nice that you asked that question. The very most thing that always inculcated to our mind, which the chairman, Richard Gordon, the senator, is always instructing us, make sure that in every evacuation, you will teach them the 4 Ps.
Okay, ano yun?
Predict,
Okay.
plan, prepare, and practice it. So if they're in the evacuation center, they should be informed.
But ano mangyayari? Like, in case it does erupt, the first thing people are going to do, they're going to run. They're going to,
Yes,
you
yeah.
know, find their exit, and then where do they go?
Yeah, that's why the planning is very important and the awareness is very important. So at least on that plan, if things go worse, then they should be able to identify already. They already identified the location where will they go. And if in case that one member of their family is not around and this kind of massive evacuation or rapid evacuation will take place, at least they know where to go. So whether they're not, they become separated, at least there will be a chance for them to be on the same spot or same location.
Okay, so with that, so you have to have a plan. You should know, like, if
Yes.
you're a bigger family, where to meet.
Yes.
And I guess just take higher ground. Like, you
Yes.
move to higher ground, no? In case naman sa mga ashfall dito sa Metro Manila, ano was the first thing that...
Well, almost the same thing now. The primary thing is don't panic. That's the very...
Stay inside. So we don't
stay
get our car and like move
yes,
further
yeah.
away
Yeah,
from...
because it might cause accident, especially if the visibility is very poor. And you cannot also take the risk of moving your vehicle. And what if the asphalt is consisting also of water? Then it will become slippery. So the best thing is really to stay at home, put some kind of protection on your window, and put also some kind of moist cloth material so that it will the dust will not be able to penetrate inside.
Okay, and once again, no, we have the go bag, and we have used this go bag for, you know, all of our earthquakes in Mindanao and our typhoon. This would still be the same, diba?
Yes, but
are there any difference pagdating sa...
it's almost the same, but basically you can modify it based on what you prefer. But the most important thing is to have the basic component. Like you may also have some kind of mosquito net, depending on where your location. This plate, although might not be necessary, but it's very hygienic that you have a plate, and who knows, you may even use this to shovel in case of emergency that you have to dig something.
When you do prepare your go bag such as this, you should keep in mind like how many days dapat? I mean, 1,
At
2
least
days?
3 to 5 days.
3 to 5 days.
Yeah.
Pang matagalan kailangan,
Yes.
hindi talaga yung
And in
overnight
fact,
lang.
a human will survive within 5 days without eating as long that you have the basic necessity like water. And you don't need to drink a lot of water as long that you will have that kind of energy. And even yung food, you have to bring some kind of light kind of food. I just like biscuit or even chocolate.
Parang anything to sustain you.
Yes.
And of course, if there's no water, it's also nice to have filter.
Yes,
you
correct.
can also bring your filter.
Or, yeah, that one. Or even the tablet that will eliminate some kind of bacteria on the water.
Okay, so you mentioned you are I mean, you are so busy. You
Yes.
are everywhere with all of the, you know, unfortunately,
Yes.
the calamities that we have gone through in the past few months alone,
Yes.
di ba?
Since last year, if we still remember, we have this Itbayat earthquake. Then here comes the Tisoy typhoon. Then here comes the Ursula. And prior from that, we have the earthquake in Mindanao, in Davao del Sur, and Kidapawan, North Cotabato. And here comes now Taal.
Taal.
So try to imagine the series of disaster and event that took place in our country.
And you are in dire need of more volunteers.
Yes.
Where can we go? How do we
Well,
look
basically,
for you?
we have
and what type of qualities are
Yes.
you looking for in terms of hiring a volunteer?
Actually, we have around 102 chapters throughout the country. And in Batangas, they could directly go to the chapter and volunteer. But prior from that, there will be some kind of orientation so that they will understand what is the Red Cross all about and how to react as a Red Cross volunteer. Because, you know, we are an international organization and we are I think we're the foremost humanitarian organization in the world. That's why we have to protect the 7 fundamental principles wherein we should be non-partisans, and the primary focus is to alleviate human suffering and uplift human dignity.
And I'm sure there's a lot of questions that we still have here in terms of, what's the best type of, kung magbibigay kami ng mga donations, what should we
Yeah.
give? And there's a website. I'm sure we could just
Yes,
go to
yeah,
that
yeah,
and have all our questions answered.
Yes.
All right,
ma'am.
so we'll just look for
Yeah.
that. Maraming salamat. I wish we had more time because we do have a lot more questions. Thank you so much for being with us this
Yes.
morning. Red Cross Disaster Management Services Director Leo Ebajo with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank